Society loves to expose the desires of men. It loves to analyze them, criticize them, shame them, dissect them. But the desires of women, especially older women, remain hidden behind silence, pride, and perfectly curated lives. And here is the forbidden truth almost no one is willing to admit. Many older women crave younger men not for romance, but for psychological resurrection. They don't talk about it publicly. They don't write about it in their journals. They don't confess it to their friends. But it's there, running beneath the surface like a quiet electrical current that shocks them whenever life forces them to feel their age. Before we go deeper, hit subscribe and like the video. A younger man represents something an older woman lost long ago, the reflected image of youth through someone else's desire. She doesn't want his age. She wants what his age symbolizes. She wants vitality. She wants validation. She wants a break from the emotional heaviness of men her age. She wants a connection free of the bitter history of long-term relationships. She wants to feel seen again, not as a mother, not as a divorcee, not as a woman whose best years are behind her, but as a desirable, powerful, feminine force. Because here's the psychological wound older women carry. They fear becoming invisible. A woman spends her youth drowning in attention. Men look at her, flirt with her, compete for her, fantasize about her. But attention isn't a constant. It fades. And for many women, it fades faster than they ever expected. The fear of irrelevance hits them quietly in their 30s, forcefully in their 40s, and brutally in their 50s. They walk into a room and realize men no longer turn their heads. They open their dating apps and see fewer matches. They experience aging not as a biological process but as a psychological death. So when a younger man shows interest, the reaction isn't logical, it's primal. He becomes a mirror of the version of herself she never fully appreciated. A mirror that reflects beauty, not wrinkles. Desire, not decline. Possibility, not expiration. And nothing intoxicates an older woman more than the feeling of being wanted by someone who could easily choose someone younger, someone simpler, someone untouched by time. The younger man becomes a rebellion against reality. Older women crave younger men because they carry no resentment. They haven't been hardened by divorce. They haven't been drained by decades of emotional labor. They haven't been shaped into cynics by betrayal. They exhibit a softness older men often lose, a curiosity older men suppress, a sexual confidence older men don't express, a willingness to explore without the weight of history. Older men carry emotional scars. Younger men carry emotional availability. And that difference becomes a psychological oasis. But it goes deeper. Younger men admire older women differently. Older men measure them, compare them to youth, to past lovers, to impossible standards. Younger men appreciate maturity, experience, confidence, and a sense of depth that younger women may not yet possess. A younger man respects her because she lived a life. An older man resents her because she lived his life with him. Older women crave younger men because younger men don't trigger their insecurities. Older men do. Older men remind them of time. Younger men remind them of possibility. And the psychology behind this isn't shallow. It's emotional survival. Older women are tired. Tired of carrying households. Tired of managing emotions. Tired of being strong for everyone else. Tired of older men who grow rigid, stubborn, disconnected, or indifferent. Tired of relationships that became routines instead of romances. A younger man represents a break from being the emotional caretaker. For once, she gets to feel chosen, not used. Desired, not tolerated. Pursued, not settled for. A younger man sees her with fresh eyes. A younger man hears her without defensiveness. A younger man touches her with hunger, not obligation. A younger man brings intensity, not fatigue. But the darkest truth is this. An older woman doesn't want a younger man's love. She wants his attention, because attention is the currency she fears losing most. It's the same reason men buy sports cars or chase younger women. Aging isn't kind to the ego. Everyone wants to feel alive again. For men, youth is an external trophy. For women, youth is an internal fantasy, and a younger man becomes the fantasy made flesh. But this craving carries consequences. The older woman begins to depend on the younger man's desire to feel alive. She invests more than she intended. She becomes emotionally attached to the version of herself he reflects. He becomes a lifeline, not because he completes her, but because he temporarily erases her mortality. When he leaves, as younger men often do, the emotional crash hits harder than anything she expected. She not only loses him, she loses the version of herself she believed he restored. That's why so many older women chase younger men again and again, not because they want sex, but because they want resurrection. They want to escape the psychological weight of aging. They want to be chosen again. They want a second chance at youth, even if it comes through someone else's eyes. But younger men have their own psychology. They often crave what older women offer: stability, wisdom, intimacy, emotional clarity, and the confidence of a woman who knows her body and mind. They enjoy the lack of drama, the absence of insecurity, the relief of not dealing with immature patterns. But these relationships rarely survive long-term. Not because they are incompatible, but because they are built on opposing needs. He seeks experience. She seeks validation. He seeks adventure. She seeks significance. He seeks passion. She seeks affirmation. And eventually, one of two things happens. Either he matures into a man who wants a partner his age, or she accepts a painful truth, that he cannot fill the void aging carved inside her. The younger man moves on to build a life. The older woman returns to the mirror, faces herself, and realizes she can no longer rely on borrowed youth to escape her fears. But here is the part no one talks about. Older women crave younger men because they were never prepared for life beyond desirability. No one taught them how to age with grace. No one taught them how to find identity outside male attention. No one taught them that feminine value evolves, that emotional maturity becomes beauty, that wisdom becomes seduction, that peace becomes irresistible. Instead, the world told them, "Your value is youth," and now they cling to the shadows of what they were, instead of stepping into the power of who they could be. The collapse isn't the desire for younger men. The collapse is the fear that without them, she becomes invisible. But here's the truth older women rarely hear. You don't lose desirability with age. You lose desirability when you fight age instead of embodying it. A woman who ages with grace is intoxicating. A woman who embraces her wisdom is magnetic. A woman who owns her femininity is irresistible. A woman who accepts her journey becomes unforgettable. It's not youth that makes a woman desirable. It's alignment. It's confidence without arrogance. It's vulnerability without desperation. It's softness without fear. It's depth without bitterness. Older women don't need younger men to feel alive. They need to reclaim the parts of themselves they abandoned in the pursuit of staying young. Because in the end, no younger man can rescue a woman from the fear of time. Only she can do that. And the day she stops seeking validation in younger eyes is the day she becomes powerful again. See the pattern. Protect your energy. This is DepthRealm.